Rachel Maddow has officially fallen. The ultra-liberal MSNBC host is being called out to account even by the mainstream Marxist media for her radically dishonest coverage of the fake dossier. We're going to look not only at how the mainstream media is shunning her, but we're going to see how it's all part of her colossal fall from left-wing grace. That's the epitome of the age-old maxim: get woke, go broke. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here. It's wonderful to be with you as always. This is your daily white pill of encouragement as we celebrate the inevitable collapse of globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. If you haven't already done so, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss a single video analyzing current events in light of super awesome conservative trends. You can live in the present in light of even better things to come, and it doesn't get better than that. Before we begin looking at, the colossal fall of Rachel Maddow, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video. That's our good friends over at Virtual Shield. If you're not using a VPN, or what's known as a virtual private network, on your desktop, tablet, or mobile device while browsing the internet, then you're really exposing yourself to a lot of potential danger. But thanks to our good friends over at Virtual Shield, protecting yourself from hackers and identity theft, it's never been easier. And to make it even better, Virtual Shield is offering a holiday season special of 30% off. You heard that right, 30% off all premium add-ons, including Protection Plus, residential access, VIP performance plans, for as low as the price of a cup of coffee. So give it a try by signing up for a free 30-day trial to Virtual Shield VPN and see what all the hype is about. You have nothing to lose. Click on the link below and sign up for their free 30-day trial today. All right, you are going to absolutely love this. I don't know how many of you caught the recent piece in the Washington Post. That's right, the ultra-liberal, left-wing, cultural Marxist Washington Post. But it was a piece that completely eviscerated Rachel Maddow over her coverage of the fake Steele dossier that provided all those salacious details of a trip that Trump supposedly took to Russia and that Putin was using to blackmail Trump. It all, of course, turned out to be completely false. It was a fraud, a complete and total lie concocted by the British agent Christopher Steele. But as the Washington Post Eric Wemple details, you wouldn't not have known that from watching 3 years of Rachel Maddow. What Wemple does is he lays out an exhaustive detailed review of Maddow's reporting and discussion of the Steele dossier, and his assessment of Maddow simply could not have been more scathing. Listen to what he wrote. When small bits of news arose in favor of the dossier, the franchise MSNBC host pumped air into them. At least some of her many fans surely came away from her broadcast thinking the dossier was a serious piece of investigative research, not the flim-flam, quick twitch game of telephone outlined in the Horowitz report. She seemed to be rooting for the document, and when large bits of news arose against the dossier, Maddow found other topics more compelling. She was there for the bunkings, absent for the debunkings, a pattern of misleading and dishonest asymmetry. Now, did you catch that? That was dead on. So this is what happens when you have left-wing activists disguised as journalists. You get this unmistakable pattern of misleading and dishonest asymmetry. Again, note what this fellow at the Washington Post said here. It's not simply asymmetry. It's not simply a matter of consistently reporting one political side, the left-wing side, as good and holy and righteous, while presenting the other political side, the political right, as evil and wicked and bad. That would certainly be bad enough, and of course we see this asymmetry all the time presented as news by the corporatist globalist media. But it's not just that. The Washington Post, of all places, accuses Maddow of a pattern of deceitful asymmetry, what they call here misleading and dishonest asymmetry. Jim Garrity over at National Review noted that when the Horowitz report came out, confirming that the dossier was a bunch of utter and complete fabricated nonsense, bought and paid for by the Clinton campaign, by the way, Garrity notes that the day that report was released, detailing how the FBI used what they knew to be a fraud to get FISA warrants to spy on the Trump campaign, Maddow completely ignored the report's findings and focused solely on really the more idiotic element of the report, which denied any anti-Trump political bias motivating the decisions made by the FBI to spy on the Trump campaign. So listening to Maddow, you would have walked away with the notion that the Horowitz report just debunked the idea that the Steele dossier was the basis for the FBI's Russia investigation. That would have been it. Horowitz concluded that Trump was wrong, and that's really all you need to know. Maddow shows up each and every night to tell what's remaining of her audience that Trump is Hitler. Okay, he's the most horrific person on the planet. So it's only a matter of time before a day of reckoning comes to take him away. That's been her message for 3 years. According to the Washington Post, her message did not involve reporting. Her message consisted of rooting. She rooted for the dossier and dressed up that rooting as reporting, which, if you think it through, is the ultimate fraud. I think when all is said and done, what makes the Steele dossier so perfectly apropos for the mainstream Marxist media is that its fabrication has become a symbol of the fabricated reality that the mainstream media presents to us as news each and every day. The Steele dossier is the mainstream media. The mainstream media is a fabrication, a partisan invention of dishonest asymmetry that ironically is experiencing its own day of reckoning. And no one exemplifies that more than Rachel Maddow. Her fall from grace has been nothing short of stunning. We did a video recently on how Maddow is being sued for $10 million for defaming the conservative news outlet One America News. And you will believe her defense. Check that video out. You will it will blow you away. I'll link it down below for you in the pinned comments section as well for your reference. Maddow's defense has come out and basically said, you can't take her literally. I kid you not. Watch the video where I detail her defense. Her defense against the charge of defamation is that you can't take what Rachel Maddow says literally. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. And not only is she being sued for defamation, but her ratings have completely collapsed. Again, we've done another video on that. You could check it out by clicking on the link there or down below, just to give you a sense of how far Maddow has fallen. Back in March, of this year, of Q1, Maddow actually topped the Sean Hannity show on Fox with the coveted 25 to 54-year-old demographic, which is quite an achievement, So in that sense, she was really the queen of the 9 o'clock hour in terms of advertisers. She was beating Hannity with the 25 to 54-year-old viewers that advertisers covet so much. So she was really on top of the cable news media world, as it were. But then after the Mueller report was released, this was the report that Maddow was promising her audience would finally overturn the Trump presidency. Once Bumbling Bob released his report and found absolutely no hint of collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign on the one hand and no obstruction of justice on the other, after Bumbling Bob's report was released, Maddow was staring at nothing less than the undoing of her own career. According to Fox News, Maddow lost nearly 500,000 viewers on her first episode following the release of the report. 500,000 of her viewers turned her off after Bumbling Bob ruined her nightly anti-Trump rants. Then, according to a report by TV Newser, she plummeted 13% in April compared to the same month of 2018. Then in May, she began losing her audience from precisely that 25 to 54-year-old demographic. She went from 550,000 viewers between the ages 25 to 54 in March to just under 400,000 in May. And then the July figures came out and she dropped to 380,000. Just to put that in perspective, there are conservative YouTubers with $100 webcams who are getting more views than the multi-million-dollar corporation MSNBC's #1 show. Just to put it all in perspective. And now Rachel Maddow has fallen from first place all the way down to fifth, right? She's trailing all 4 of Fox News' evening shows in terms of total viewers. So there's little question that Rachel Maddow and her zeal for left-wing activism has experienced nothing less than a humiliating fall, and now even her fellow left-wing activists in the mainstream Marxist media are calling her out on it. It therefore does appear that Rachel Maddow has become the poster child for the undeniable maxim, get woke, you know it, go broke. Before you go, I recently posted a video on how the world is rebelling against ultra-liberal Hollywood. It's absolutely going to make your day. So make sure to click on the link above, and I'll see you over there. God bless.